I just have to tell you guys that it hits me more every day. Depression is an illusion. It's completely a feeling. It's an emotion. It's a chemical telling you something that is completely untrue. It's not true. It's not true. None of it's true. Your life is not sad. It's not boring. You are sitting in a little bubble that you could pop instantly with your finger. Inside that bubble are all those feelings. Outside that bubble is a whole world of people who need you, who depend on you, who need you to become who you were meant to be, who are desperately waiting for you to figure it out and go do those things that you've been dying to do, because you were made to do the things you want to do most, not the things you have to do, not the things that just maintain and keep you going. You were made to do the things that set your soul on fire when you were 7 years old, when you were 15, when you were 21. Those are the things you are put on this earth to do. That's why you're breathing air. That's why your body is still metabolizing nutrients to keep this engine going, because you're supposed to do it. And if you're not doing it, the depression gets in. It's binary. It's a two-way street. You do what you love and you live what Helen Keller, if anyone has a right to complain, what she called a daring adventure. She said life is either a daring adventure or it's nothing at all. If you're not living your daring adventure, of course you're going to be depressed. Of course. And I'm not going to explain how the chemicals work and what you do and this and that. That's for psychologists and doctors to argue, and philosophers and everything. I'm going to tell you, I know 100%. I know, and nobody will ever convince me of anything different, that you were made to do the things you dream of. And every second you don't do the things you dream of, you are opening the door for depression to get in, because depression is the natural opposite. If you're not doing what you're meant to do, of course you're going to be depressed. Of course you're going to be sad. Of course you're going to feel like everything is horrible. It's binary. You do the thing that you love, or you open yourself up to all the worst feelings ever. So if you're buried in those feelings and you feel like you can't even climb out, like you're underneath 10 feet of dirt and sand and soil, and the promised land seems way up there and you don't even know how to dig. You feel like you have a little teeny tiny spoon to dig through 10 feet of mud, and you feel like, where can I even get there? How can I even start? That's what I'm going to tell you. That's an illusion too. That's not true. It's a bubble. It's a soap bubble. You touch it with your finger and it pops. What does that mean in real life? Like, what does it really mean? It means the moment you get up off the couch and take one step towards doing what you love. If you are made to play guitar, you take one step towards your guitar, or if you don't own one, you take one step towards your phone to call a music store to find out what one costs, or look up Amazon to find what the cheapest one is you can get. If you were made to do art, you take one step towards a table and find a pen and a piece of paper and you start doodling. If you were made to do, you fill in the blank. I can say art and music because that pops into my head easily. You know, you could be made to do math, accounting, you could be a detective, you could be made to solve mysteries, you could be a gazillion other things. I'm just saying the things that are firing in my brain because of stuff I've talked to other people about recently. It could be anything. And if you think what your thing is too dumb to really be a thing, but you always really wanted to do it, it's a thing. And it's just as valid as being president, or being head of a company, or discovering a new element, or inventing a new project that'll save 1 million people. Your passion is that important. And you don't think it is, but you're part of the puzzle that we all make up. You're somebody's cousin, you're somebody's aunt, you're somebody's grandparent, you're somebody's brother, and you are important. And even if you're estranged from those people, there's a little part of them that's suffering because you're suffering. And when you get it together, their lives are going to get a little better. And you don't know it, but it's 100% true. Get up and take one step, and the soap bubble pops, and suddenly, when the soap bubble pops, the depression starts to diffuse. You're not gonna instantly feel like $1 million and start dancing like the music starts playing and you just get filled with exuberation. What happens is the bubble pops the depression starts like a gas. It starts to leak away, and suddenly you feel a little bit better. But it will shock you. It will surprise you how quickly it starts to lessen the second you get up and take one step toward your dreams. And maybe those dreams in your wildest imagination will never materialize for 10 years, even if you do everything perfectly. I don't care. Take the first 5-second step towards it, and your depression, boof, will start going down. And it might only go down 1%, but you will feel the difference. You will, whoa, I feel better. All that sitting on the couch and thinking, how can I get myself to stop feeling so horrible, didn't move the needle at all. But the second you took a step towards that table to get a pen and a paper, and even if you're not an artist, get that pen and paper. If you nothing else, get that pen and paper and start writing down something. Write down the one thing that drove you absolutely crazy with excitement when you were 14. You know what it is, and it is not dumb, no matter how much you might think it is dumb. So get up and go to the table and get the pen and paper and write down something. And if you have to put it in this comment under this video to make it materialize, to make it solid, make it something real, do it, and I'll read it. You will feel suddenly the depression will go poof, like someone popping, picture a gallon of water sitting in a plastic bag on the table, like when you buy goldfish at the store. Pop a pinhole and suddenly the water starts spurting out and the water starts going down. That's how your depression is going to feel. Suddenly you'll be like, oh my goodness, I feel a little better. And as you start writing it out, it'll go down more, 5%, 10%. And as you start taking steps, it'll go to 20%, 25%. And I'm not saying tomorrow when you wake up, it might be all the way back up to 100%, because you've been in this cycle of telling yourself how horrible you are for maybe years. So when you do all this, you might have an awesome day, and then you might go to sleep, and then inertia might move it back to what you're used to. And that's fine, because you will know you changed something. Something is different. You wrote down that thing, and you'll find that piece of paper the next morning that you wrote down, and suddenly you'll start thinking, wait a minute, is it real? Is it real? And if you say yes, suddenly poof, the depression for that day, it'll start going down again. And that's where every day one little teeny tiny movement in the right direction will start forming a new habit. You'll start carving out a new path for yourself. Not the path of I'm terrible, everything is terrible, I wish it was better, but it's not. What can I do? How can I stop suffering? I just don't think I can get better. No, you'll start carving a new path towards, could it be? Could it be? Could it be real? Is it still possible? Could I still resurrect this? Is it still a possibility? And that will cut your depression, and it will die. It will start to die, a slow death, but you will feel it dying inside you, like a cold going away, like a sickness easing up. You will start to feel the health come back into you, and the strength come back into you, and the hope come back. And it will feel like a rush, a slow one. You'll feel it. Go do it. Turn off this video and go do it. Make the comment, write the thing down. Forget about me. You do that thing.